All right, gang, welcome to another edition of Webinar Wednesday, tips to grow your online community. Really great and really thankful that we could all take the time to join in the webinar together and chat and engage with each other. So it's really great to be with you guys here today. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. I am Jason there on the left, and we're lucky to be joined by David Rockland, the digital strategist here at Brilliant Directories. Thanks so much for taking the time to join us today, David.
Of course, thank you everybody for being with us. We've got some really great updates to share this week.
Yeah, and I always like to mention, if you're not already a part of our Facebook group, it's a great way to keep the conversations going in between Webinar Wednesdays. You can always head on over to brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook. If you want to do that right now, feel free to go ahead and just click on the blue join button to join the group. All are welcome. I myself am pretty active in there, and there's really constructive and productive conversations there of a lot of people who are building their membership communities online. So it's a great way to keep in touch and learn from fellow membership website owners. And I always like to mention, for those of you joining us for the first time, it really is great to be with you here today. You know, launching a website is really easy these days. There's tons of tools. You just click a few buttons and you're online. But growing a community does require some strategy, and a lot of us have different skill sets. You know, some of us are social animals, a lot of us are introverts, but we have other high value skills. So what's really good about the Webinar Wednesday sessions, we get to talk about some of the features that are baked into the platform that can help, that you can leverage to help you grow your community faster. A lot of the things that I like to chat about and questions we hear about are things like how to increase website traffic, converting visitors into members, you know, how to create lead capture forms and collect email addresses. One of my favorites is how to improve your website's navigation to provide the best experience when visitors come to your site, and to make sure that you're converting them into a member or into a lead, or you're capturing that email address in some capacity. So if you have questions on any of these topics or something related to this, love to get to them. We'll do our best to get to as many questions as possible in this Webinar Wednesday. All right, and actually today we are just focusing on the BD Lab updates. Normally we do include a tip of the week, but there were a lot of important lab updates, and David and I were chatting before the webinar, and we thought we'd give that extra time to answer some of your questions. We know a lot of people are just starting their projects, so we wanted to just make sure we had some extra time to address as many questions as possible. And I did want to mention one thing about the questions. We'll do our best to get to everyone. So if you do get cut off after asking one or two questions, we will try to get to the next person, just to make sure we get to as many people as possible. If we have time, we can circle back around. But yeah, we have some really great lab updates to share with you guys here today. The team has been really busy, and we've been getting more and more feedback from the Facebook group, and it's a lot of stuff that we could take quick, actionable steps on our end to help deliver it for you guys, and so you can use it in your communities. So I'll try to go through this relatively quickly, and then we could take some questions along the way about any of these updates that you see. The first one here at the top of the list, the new admin dashboard layout, and I do have a sample site I can kind of share with you. What we've done here, and really the idea here, is this is really just the basic version of this new update. What we're trying to do here is accomplish two main things. One is provide access to some quick links and areas of your site that most people will go to first when logging in. So you can see the quick links right here in the center, but also these statistics here. You can actually click on these and they will take you to the respective sections that you're seeing here. So what's really nice is you can really see the health and pulse of your website in this section. And these stats here are just the beginning. Later on, probably closer to 2021, but we want to have graphs and charts where you can choose dates and specific data that you want to see over time periods. So this is just the beginning of providing you with more stats right here in the dashboard, and later on we'll be able to provide more data for you and more information that you can curate yourself. So what's really nice here is you can see a financial snapshot, you know, how much revenue you've created. If you have any past due payments that you need to tend to, maybe you need to manually follow up with members or send some emails out or call them. And also what's really nice is the upcoming payment. So this is the upcoming 14 days. So the system can track how many payments you have actually due in the next 14 days. So basically this will kind of give you an idea of what you have that's upcoming in the next 2 weeks. Also the member snapshot here, again, just the beginning. Later we want to show you guys how many free members you have, how many paid members you have, how many active subscriptions for those paid members exist. Lots of fun statistics we want to deliver for you guys later, but this was just the first phase so we can get the layout launched to you. Also, there's a section for new pending items. So if you have pending leads, that's the stat that was there previously, so that's currently available here. But there are other things that you as the website owner need to be notified about sometimes because it does require your manual action. I do have another site here that has kind of more stats. So you can see in the sidebar here on this site, under content, there's 2 posts to moderate. They have the advanced post moderation add-on. There are 7 pending leads that need to be matched manually. There are 19 form inquiries that need to be responded to or at least looked at. So these stats that we're seeing here, and there are some others such as member reviews, that's what we're going to see here in the new pending items section when we add more alerts there. Also, what's really nice is you can see recent member logins of the last 9 members who logged into your site. So the date is there as well to kind of give you an idea of, I think this is more important, of the pulse of your site. So if you see 9 people there who logged in today, that's a really good sign that people are really engaged in using your site. If you're seeing things where kind of like the disparity, this is just a test site here, but the disparity between the dates is pretty big, like going back to January 2020, you might want to find ways to engage your users better and find ways to bring them back to your site. And always the very important one, the install new updates. Sometimes there are local updates that you need to do on your site. And you can certainly just click this button and see if there's anything that you need to do there. Generally, it's updating your local database. It's not going to affect anything on the front end. And what's really nice, it's been a suggestion for a while, is if you hover over this, it will give you a description of what that update is going to do. And again, most of the time, these updates are for the behind the scenes database to unlock new available settings for your site. It's not really going to change anything on the front end of your site. And we always want to welcome everyone to the Facebook group. So there's a banner there so everyone can join if you're not there yet. And then also what's really nice are the website resources. So you can see how much available storage space you have, what your monthly bandwidth has been so far, and you get a pretty generous amount of email sent per day, the 1,500 limit. So it's about almost close to 50,000 per month for the emails. And what I find most helpful about this new section is it does tell you if your Google Maps API, and trust me guys, I know that's the biggest headache when you set up your site. I've checked other platforms. It just is what it is. If you want Google Maps to work with your site, you have to go through those steps. But what's really nice is the development team has created this tool. And if there is an issue with the Google Maps API connection, this will show red and it will provide some notes as to what the issue may be so that it's easier to troubleshoot. And if with those notes you're not able to fix it, of course, you can email our support team and we'll try to work with you guys to troubleshoot that issue. But at least we know that the system knows there's an issue with the API and we don't have to spend a lot of time trying to figure out what the issue is. This can kind of be more direct. Also an important one, it does tell you the health of the default website email address on your site. So this is the email address defined in your general settings area. And what it does is it does let you know if it's working, if it's online, if it's bouncing. And this is really important because if the email is not working, if people are responding to the emails that the system is sending out, you're probably not going to receive those emails. So if the email is not working, this will also light up in red. And for 95% of the times, you could just click the button and it'll unblock and make sure that the email is working for you. So 2 really good tools here for you. Delete unused images. This is actually if you've deleted members and they have some like profile images that are taking up some of your disk space. This button is always safe to click. It's just related to members who have already been deleted and if they have any legacy files or images on your site. And then if you have the export members add-on, every time you do a member export, that CSV file is saved. And it is taking up some storage space. For most people, it's a very small amount, but if you have a site with like millions of records and you've done lots of exports, if you don't need those export files saved, you can certainly delete those, and you can always export your members again at any time in the future. So just some good disk cleanup options there for you. And then we've created a little help resources section here for you. So on the right here, we'll start here. We always had this on the dashboard, but you can always follow our monthly change log updates here. So I'll just go ahead and click on one here for April last month. And it does take you to the Brilliant Directories blog. And usually it's a lot of features, so unless you have a lot of reading time, this is just fun to come here and skim and see all the updates that have been done on the platform in the last month. And of course, some quick links here. You can go to the documentation center, the community forum. You can watch the training webinars. And again, you can always submit a ticket here to our team if you're having some how-to questions or troubleshooting issues. We'll always be there for you guys. And what's cool here is you can actually type in here and it will suggest articles from the support center. So if I type in import, I get some article options here. And if I click on one, it does take us to the support center for an article related on that topic. So just some ways to get quick and helpful support resources here. Okay, this next one is a fun one. It's really going to help you if you guys are building out landing pages. We did demo it in the previous webinar 2 weeks ago. It's now live. You can actually create call to action buttons with the text editor. Let me show you a quick example of what that looks like. So we can continue using this site as an example. So when you're in the text editor, if you're editing a web page or one of your landing pages, you have a block of content, and perhaps you want to create a link to, a join link or a link to something else. I'm just going to say join our membership now. So what you can do is you want to highlight that text. First thing to do is turn it into a link. So you can click on the insert link button. And I'm just going to, for example, do this to the /join page. After this is a link, the link has options. You can unlink it as an option. You can edit the link, where the URL goes, what the text is. You can open the link to test it. But this is what's new now, is you can actually apply a style to it. And what that is you can actually choose a button style. So you can have it as a plain text link, or you can make it the danger, default, info, primary, success, or warning buttons. These are the buttons that you're familiar with. You've set the colors for them in your design settings. So perhaps I wanted to do a normal button with the danger style. So now we can see that it's turned the red color, and I'll just go ahead and save those changes. And
as you're talking about the buttons, Brian asks if we can specify a width for the buttons.
If you need more width for the buttons, I don't think there's a way to specify width. It's going to be the width of the text. However, perhaps you can put spaces before and after the text if you want it to be wider, like this. That can work. There is no width per se here, but there is a way to create a larger button. So that's the normal size, and you can have the larger size here. Let's save that. And let's open this in a new tab. So we can see a larger button and a smaller button. And what's really cool is, just on this page, whatever this content is for, you can take plain text and really dress up the page with a button to, increase engagement and again, improve that website navigation of where you're trying to get people to click to. And one more thing on this, so the button colors that are available where it says danger, default, info, those are actually set in your design settings. So your site has like a theme of colors that you've created. Over here, the default button link colors, you can see here primary, info, success, warning, danger, and default. So there's 6 button colors, and so whatever you choose in the text editor, it's going to match what you've selected here. So the info one is this bluish purple color here. Let's just change this to that info color. And we'll see on the live site, it'll be that bluish purple color. All right. This has been a huge one, and we appreciate everyone's patience. We had the private member chat add-on, which is super helpful. It allows members to have continuous conversations, back and forth with each other. And every time a new message was sent, the member would be notified via email. What we've done now is the chat boxes will actually update instantly if the members are logged into their account and they're looking at the chat box. And I have an example of this for you guys. So with this private chat, the members can continuously go back and forth and chat with each other. So I have two chat boxes open here. I have one open in Chrome and one opened in Firefox. So these are two different members. They're having a chat conversation with each other. I'll start on the left side here, and I'll just start typing like, how are you doing? And send the message. And should be just within a few seconds. The right box should update here with that message. There we go. How are you doing? Perfect. So it just took a few seconds there, but these guys can start chatting with each other. Fine. And you can choose if you still want the emails to also go out. I think it is helpful for the emails to go out. Maybe they left their computer or something like that. At least they have an email record that there is a message waiting for them as well. So in general, these two will be able to have a continuous conversation without having to actually refresh the page there. There's the I'm fine message. What's really cool is if your site has a lot of mobile users, this is probably more what they're used to, and it really elevates the value, increases the value of the private member chat app here, because now they can have a continuous conversation right through your website while they're on their mobile phone. All right, this next one here is a design setting that you can set in your design settings. And what this is going to do is actually the top section of the profile pages, you can choose to have them full width. And I'll show you an example of what that looks like. I think this is a great new setting for a couple reasons. And we can see here, this is a test site that we work on also. So we can see here, normally the sidebar is next to this top part of the member profile page on the member header section here. So when you enable this setting, the top part will go full width, and then the tabs and the sidebar will go underneath that. And what I like about this setting is it does allow for a larger profile image because there is more space for this section. So you'll see more of the image. Images, if they're visually appealing, people like to see them. But also if you have the badges, the badge icons are slightly larger as well because they have more room and more width to stretch out here. Also, another benefit for this are the call to action buttons are a little more prominent on the page. You see them first, and then you see the additional content underneath there. So actually what I'll do is I'll show you where this setting is, and we'll actually turn it off so we can compare the two options. So this is going to be in your design settings. And actually, we have this module here, additional design settings, but it's so filled with more options now. We're probably going to break these down into smaller modules that correlate the settings, that have related settings with each other. And for now, in this example, it's called Profile Full Width Header. So that's set to yes right now. I'll change it to no, and this is what it is by default for everyone right now. And if we just refresh the page, I'll duplicate the tab. Okay, great. So we still have the cover photo at the top of the page, but we can see here now that the sidebar is lined up with this top section with the members' information here. So we can see the badges are a bit smaller. This layout is not bad at all. I just personally like the new option. The profile image is a bit smaller here, and if we look at it this way, we can, of course, see the larger buttons, badges, and profile image. So again, it's just a preference. It's subjective what you think is going to work best for you and your site and your users, but that option is now available for everyone. Also, new things coming out. We are enhancing some of the members-only functionality. We're making the settings a bit easier to find. And we're starting with the independent web pages that you have. So now you'll see an option that says protect this page. And it's always been there, but it was in the display settings. So let me show you what that looks like here, guys. And if you have staff working on the site and they're trying to learn the software, this is just these new settings are gonna make things a bit easier. So over here on the right-hand side, this is just a regular single web page. You see the option, if you have the members only add-on, you could protect the page. You'll see this question, protect this page. So you can do keep public for everyone. You can say only allow members. And what's really cool is when you select only allow members, now the page is protected. And if you wanted to, just any member can access this page, that's all you need to do. But if you wanted to take it one step further, you can restrict by membership plan. So maybe it's only for gold and silver members. Maybe you have some special content on this page, or it's a portal to get to this page somehow. So you can actually set it to be more specific per membership level. Also really cool is if you also have the Sell Digital Downloads add-on, you can also protect the page. Instead of by members, you can do it by who purchased one of your digital products. Maybe it was an online event and they get access to your Zoom room that you created or you embedded on one of these pages. So you can do only allow digital product buyers. And then if you have specific digital products that you've posted and created, you can then select which digital product buyers have access to this. So maybe they bought a specific ticket or service. You can choose that here. So this page will only be visible by people who purchased a specific digital product through your site. These settings used to be down here as checkboxes in the display settings. So we're just trying to arrange things and make them a bit more intuitive and easier to use for everyone. All right, and some things coming down the pipeline, coming soon. There's more, so I tried to limit it just to these items here. This one we mentioned in the previous webinar, the ability to create and save member smart lists so you can better segment members and actually save those segmented lists. Right now you can search for members and export them, but then after the export, that's it. With the new smart list, you'll be able to actually save those segmented members. And then again, in a phase 2 in the future, you can then send email newsletter blasts to those smart lists, those specific smart lists. We have a new layout coming for the advanced settings. So the advanced settings is somewhere where you can get kind of lost. Up until now, it kind of just looked like this. This is what's going to be released soon, but let me show you what it currently looks like. Not too much of a difference, but right now everything is an input field. And if you're turning something on or off, you enter like a 0 or a 1 for those options. With the new layout, instead of 0s and 1s, you're going to have on and off switches. And we're going to have better descriptions on what some of these items actually do. And then what we want to do is after we launch this update with the advanced settings, we're going to see how it works. We're going to get feedback from users, but we want to use kind of this layout in other areas of the admin. It's just a nicer and easier way to look at some of your settings. So you might see your general settings or some of the settings in the membership plan options start looking a bit more like this. And also when there's like a drop-down option, the option will be here for you. Right now you have to manually type in those extra drop-down options that you want. But when it's only a limited number of options, we'll have it as a drop-down here for you. And this should help reduce some user errors or making mistakes while you're working on your site as well. So really looking forward to this, and it'll segue to a lot better updates and design interface in the admin area as well. If you have multiple websites with BD, you'll soon be able to select the primary site that you're directed to after you log into the admin area. So some of you might have a main website that you're working on, but you're logged into like a secondary site that you're really not focusing on right now. So you have to do that extra click to get to your primary site. With this setting, you'll be able to choose the primary site your admin account is directed to after login. For your members, a new setting is coming. There is a setting to choose where your members are redirected to after they log in per membership level. However, when members sign up, there is no way to select a specific page they're redirected to after the members sign up. So that setting will be available coming soon, and you'll be able to choose a page if you want to per membership level. So maybe you have some general users or users who just getting access to a certain area of your site. You don't have to take them into their member dashboard. You could take them to the place for the information they signed up for to get access to. So that should be really good too. There are a handful of security updates coming down the line. One of them I wanted to mention, you'll have the ability to force logout any team admin accounts or sessions that are live, including your own account. So in the event you might feel that maybe your account has been compromised or something happened, or you don't feel good about it, you can log out all the sessions, and then you can go through the password reset method and reset your password. And there are another handful of security updates coming down the line to protect your admin accounts as well, and we'll be sure to cover those as they are released. Also related to team admin accounts, right now, if you hire a developer maybe and you want to give them access to your site, or a staff member, if their email is already used in the BD system, there is no way to just invite that person to your site and to collaborate with you. So we are creating a nice, simple, and elegant method where you can invite existing BD admins, people who have other BD sites, to help you on your site as a staff account. And then, of course, you can remove them whenever you wanted to. But this way, you don't have to create like a dummy email address and create like a dummy login for them just because they're already in the system. This will allow existing admins to be added and invited to collaborate with you on your sites. All right, and another last one here is a design aesthetic, and it should create a better experience both on mobile and desktop. It's going to be the ability to stick the profile tabs at the top of the page while scrolling, and I'll show you an example of what that looks like. It's coming soon. So when you're on a profile page, there are the tabs here, and they're fine, they work great. But when you scroll, you kind of lose the tabs. They go to, they go up. So as you scroll, there's going to be an option to lock the tabs here at the top of the page, and it'll be easier, especially on mobile, I think. Let's toggle mobile view here. So when you're on mobile view, if you're scrolling down, well, that's still coming soon. They'll have to adjust for that space at this menu up here. But as you're scrolling down, the tabs will lock up there, and then you can easily toggle between the different tabs here. So this should actually get more user engagement because they'll have more things to click on while they're on a profile page. So it should provide a better experience for your visitors. The members should get more engagement, and your site should get more time on site by your visitors. So that's good for your SEO as well. And lots of other updates coming down the line. Just wanted to leave it there. So what I would like to do now is, we don't have a tip of the week this week. So if you have any questions about these updates, or would like some assistance with your site, or have questions about the platform, this is a great time to raise your hand or type in a question. And David and I will do our best to address as many as we can here today. All right, and I see Mark's hand went straight up. So let me call on Mark here. How you doing, Mark?
Fine. How are you, Jason and David?
Good, good. Thank you.
Good. I'm pretty new to BD, and I'm in the process. I'm actually an existing directory owner. I've been doing directories for quite a long time, but I've been super impressed by your platform, and I'm looking at actually moving listings or actually members over into the BD platform. Once I do that, what's the best way to establish a redirect from an old listing for a member or a business listing to the the same listing within BD?
It's a really good question, and we get a lot of migration questions in the Facebook group a lot. Let me ask you a question, like about how many members are we talking about here? How many records?
Well, it's initially it's going to be a couple 100,000. Actually, it's a state business directory, and which I've had for quite a while. But the platform I'm on right now is not being supported the way it should be. I'm just not satisfied, so I went and got a license for BD, and it's really a great platform. I'm just in the initial process of importing, and then that's why I ask about the redirecting aspect of it. So.
Gotcha. So just for everyone out there, if you're ever switching platforms and you have an established site and the pages are ranking on Google, you definitely don't just want to flip the switch and turn on the new platform, because you're probably going to have like like Mark's mentioning here, some links that aren't redirecting properly. So the first thing that I would recommend doing is, does your platform allow to export the current URLs for your members?
Yes.
Okay. And do the members have an ID number associated with them?
Yes, each member has an ID number, yes.
Okay. So it's going to be a little bit of a workaround, but this is what I would recommend doing is export your members from whatever platform you're working on, and also make sure to include their ID number and also include the full URL of their current profile page. I'm assuming the domain name is going to stay the same for your site, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then what you can do is when you import the members into your BD site, those several 100,000 records, you can set the ID number when you import the member ID. So their member ID on your old site should be the same member ID on your new site, and you can just define that in your import file, what the member ID is. The second thing you should do is just create a new column called old profile URL and add that column when you're importing your members. It's not going to show up on their profile page, but it will save as like a piece of metadata for that person. Okay. So now you got all your old people, their IDs are the same. Or actually, you don't even need to do the ID thing. If you just do what I just said about their original URL. So then you got their original URL in the system's going to create a brand new URL for them with the Brilliant Directories format. Then the next thing you can do is you can export all your members, okay? And really all you would need are their old URL, like you would do like old URL, right? So just export that, and then I think it's called file name. Yeah, their full file name here. So, and that's their new URL. Export that data, and then what you can do is, so now you have their old and their new, and then in the developers in the 301 redirects, we don't have a way to import redirect rules just yet, but it wouldn't be hard if you went to the marketplace and just had a developer. It's very straightforward what you're looking to do. With that data that you have, you have a CSV file with the old and the corresponding new links. They'll import that to create these records here, these redirect records here. So in short, when you import your members, import them with what their old URL is, and then export them, and then have a developer from the marketplace import them from the MySQL database and to create those records for you on the fly.
Okay, great. All right. No, I appreciate that very much.
Okay.
Been super impressed.
Okay, yeah, you got it. You bring up a good point here. We haven't seen many cases for importing 301 redirects, but actually we are seeing this. I mean, I've seen it in the Facebook group that more and more people are asking about it. So right now there's a manual way to add redirects, and I think it lets you do like 3 at a time, but that's not going to work for what you're looking to do. So, but yeah, head on over to the marketplace, and again, once you have your file ready, the CSV file, they can add it to your database pretty quick for you.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Jason.
Thank you, Mark. All right, good question there from Mark. Lisa, how you doing, Lisa?
Good, thank you, Jason and David, for everything you guys offer all the time. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
You know, I'm getting a ton of emails, like when I go in there in the admin, there's tons and tons of emails and the leads, and I don't really want to be responsible for all that. Is there a way that I can set it up that just when somebody wants to contact the member, they contact them directly and I'm out of the loop, or is that not a functionality? It's supposed to go through admin.
Yeah, could we check out your site and see there are some settings for that.
Okay, it's epictribe.org.
All right, let's take a look. There are definitely some settings there on how kind of the matching works. So with regards to you, what we want to do is let's talk about the leads here. So there's a section called lead settings. And your question was when a member receives we call it a direct lead, like the visitor is on their profile page contacting a specific member. So the settings for when a member receives a direct lead, so the visitor's on their profile page and they send them a message, what we want to do is we want to turn this one on. Members receive direct leads immediately. So can I set that to yes?
Yes, please.
Okay, and for those messages, are you going to be charging your members to purchase those leads, or do you just want them to freely go to the member?
No, I just want them to freely go to them for now.
So what we want to do is the count match as the lead match. We want to actually set this as accepted, so they don't have to do an extra click to like pending or to pay for it. And then also the member notification. We don't want to give them a preview. We just want the full message to go to them. So we're going to set this to complete, and that's actually all you need to do here. So and then we'll just. And do you want to get a copy as an admin when this email goes out, or is that too much for you?
The copy is fine. I can go and turn it on off it later. I'd like to see how it's working, and is there any way to, obviously probably not, because it's like I didn't have them on, but is there a quick way to take all the ones that are, like you see right there, there's 575 email notifications, because when I'm in here, I'm usually, working on a design or something like that, and I really haven't been focused on any of this. Is there a way to bulk these and have them send the query to the member?
So these are people filling out your contact us form. So I don't know, maybe everything could be a little bit different here for what people are asking. It's just a standard contact us form. Let me just make sure none of these are spam or anything like that. No, they're listening. It's real. Looks like these are all legitimate inquiries. What you can do is, I'm sure that there's a few sprinkled here. Let me actually do one more thing with you here. Under the integrations tab, let me update your spam block keywords here. We're actually going to put a button there, so at any given time you can just say like apply the ones that BD recommends having there. But we have a list here. I'm just going to put that there. I always like to just do that and save those changes. Yeah, when it's a contact us form, you probably do want to take a look at it. So with regards to these though, yeah, these ones, it looks like a lot's coming in. As long as it's not spam, I would just keep them there till you get around to them, because I don't think there's a boilerplate message you can send them. You can certainly send them an email template, the confirmation. Let me see, here it is, message received. You do have this email template here. It's called contact us. This is what's sent to a person after they send the contact us form.
Right.
So maybe you want to update this with something like, it's just a boilerplate. It says we received your message and et cetera, but maybe you want to give them more options for reaching out to you if it really is pressing or more important, and it's not just a generic contact message from someone. So you might want to give them more options to reach out to you here.
I have it set up right though that people can contact the member, because a lot of those that I'm looking at are like they're trying to contact a member, but they're sending them to me.
Let's see. Let's look at your member profiles here. I see what you're saying. So if you click on send message, yep, this is correct. This is the lead form here.
Okay.
People respond to different calls to action. You might want to change this word send message, like contact this member now, or something like something more powerful than just send a message. They're probably overlooking this and they're just saying then they go to contact us and they're like, I'm trying to get in touch with a cell lifestyle. So maybe just making this more prominent, that might help a bit as well.
If I call and get like a hour training session or something, via BD, does the person I'm on there with help me at that point go through stuff, or do they just tell me how to do it and I have to do it later?
So with the private phone training, you will get like a screen share with the person. So what they'll do is, really in their capacities, they can answer questions on like automated emails for you. So like the lead emails definitely fall into that category. So they'll kind of show you how to set some things up and things like that, or where to make edits and changes and answer any questions. They won't do any custom work on your site for you. So they'll do as much as they can to kind of show you how the default settings work, and they'll actually work through it with you. If you want to set something up using the default settings, they'll certainly do that with you over the phone. and on a screen share, so you can actually watch what they're doing with you. So
Okay.
yeah, give it a try. And then if you have positive experience, you can always do them again in the future.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Site's looking great there, Lisa. All right, let's see, we got some more hands up here. All right, we got a question from Simon here. Let me unmute your microphone, Simon. How you doing, Simon?
Good. I have a couple of questions, Jason. The first one is, see, I'm pretty new to this BD,
Okay.
and is it mandatory to have the email address for a listing? For example, it's because I'm starting a new website. When I'm going to add few listings, I don't have the email address of the member.
That's okay. That's actually a question that was asked. It's asked every other webinar, to be honest. So if you're importing the members, Simon, you don't need the email address. The system will just create like a dummy email address and assign that as their login username. You don't need to have that. Or if you're manually creating a member from the admin area, you can just put whatever you want for the email address. So you don't need to have their real email address. You could just put whatever you want just to fill in that information while you're getting started.
Okay, great. I got it.
All right, Brenda, how you doing, Brenda?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Where are you calling in from, Brenda?
Dallas, Texas area. I'm actually in McKinney.
Okay, great. Thanks for joining us on the webinar today. What's your question?
I was asking about the ads. How do you monetize the site? I haven't even gotten to that part yet.
Good question. So the first way to monetize on a site is to create the demand that someone would want to advertise on the site. Have you reached that level yet?
No, but I think I could probably get some interest.
Perfect.
I'm just trying to figure out how would it work. Does it rotate on different? Can you have different ads on different pages, or is it going to just be uniform? You only have like one ad on all the pages straight across, or can you mix it up? I know you can do Google AdSense, but that's like so little money. I don't even want to mess with that.
I know. So what you can do is on different pages and different page templates, you can include a sidebar, which is generally where an ad would be placed, is usually on the side of the content. So what a lot of people do is you can come to your design settings and your banner ad design, and we have like the standard ones that you're talking about that are like the sidebar banner, but you could put the code here. So you could put the custom embed code. That would be like the Google AdSense code. Or if you're going to put, maybe you sold a spot to Gary's Tire Shop, so they give you the image, and then you could put the link here, and that will be the ad. So what you can do is you can create different sidebars. So if you go to your toolbox, you can create a different sidebar for a special page or a certain group of pages, and in that sidebar, maybe you want to use one of these extra banner ad spots. So by default, there's 5 here.
Okay.
I would start with those. So when you're putting them in the sidebar, basically in a sidebar, you're going to be dropping in different widgets. So let me just show you here. So in this sidebar, for example, Amazon banner, perfect example. He's got this banner here. And then he's showing this sidebar on a specific page. So what you can do is under these right here, it says what the widget name is. So let's say you had extra banner ad spot 5. You want to drop it into a specific sidebar. Go ahead and edit that sidebar, search for your available widgets. So Bootstrap theme, banner responsive, and then you could just drop it here, and that will now be part of this sidebar. To answer the bigger question on how do you get advertisers, they want to know that the people that they want to reach are participating and visiting your site. One of the best ways to do that is if you can make your site, like when you come to your homepage, it looks like it's built for the consumer, the end user, whoever that is in your industry. Advertisers will naturally know that, oh, I want to also connect with those end users who are hungry for the content on this site. So the first thing would be to make sure your site is set up to appeal to the end user and the consumer. Then the businesses on the back end or the advertisers will naturally know that your site is for those people. And then what you can do is create a page on your site that says how you're attracting that audience and why you should advertise on our website. You know, we'll get you in front of XYZ type of customers, you know, women age 35 to 55, or is our demographic, you know, whatever is correct for your, you know, market. And then just create a buy page. Say, click here to purchase a 30-day ad spot, and you know, just see if anyone buys it. I wouldn't overcomplicate it or overthink it. Just put some materials on there that lets people know that your advertising doors are opened. Give them the reasons why they should advertise, and just put a buy button there or a contact us for more information button, and see who responds to you, and see what kind of feedback you receive from them. Maybe they're going to want to see certain things, and you know, before you go all in, you could just do the basics and see how it works for you, which is basically create the demand or create the excitement and the demand and see if anyone responds.
I was leaning more towards phone calls and emails potentially. Send that stuff to them in an email.
Yeah.
After the phone call.
That's even better. If you're comfortable on the phone, that's the best thing you can do. Just have a supportive page on your website on why advertise with us, and just put all the reasons why someone should advertise with you and how they can get in touch with you. And it sounds like you're going to be really good on the phones anyway, so I think you'll close a lot of sales that way.
Yeah, I did loan brokering, so yeah, that's a lot of phone time.
Okay, definitely. But follow up with us in the coming webinars. Let us know how that went for you. We'd love to check up on your progress with that.
I appreciate it, Jason. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Have a great day. Take care, Brenda.
You too.
All right, guys, we do have some more hands up, but we are out of time right now. If we didn't get to your questions, please join us in the Facebook group. You can head on over to brilliantdirectories.com /Facebook. We can continue the conversations there. Great webinar today, fantastic suggestions. I think we wrote down 3 suggestions, but I got a couple more in the back of my mind based on the conversations we had here today. The next webinar will be in 2 weeks. We do about, webinars are every 2 weeks, so we land about 2 webinars each month. And on behalf of myself and David and the entire Brilliant Directories family, thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you in 2 weeks in the next webinar. Have a great day and a brilliant week. Take care, guys.